Hello, agents of change. Let's take a moment to visualize a world where your habits are not just ordinary routines, but secret agents, clandestinely influencing every aspect of your life. Imagine stirring animated graphics popping up on the screen, illustrating these secret agent habits in action. Fascinating, right? Today we're not just stepping, but soaring on a thrilling, high-speed journey into the obscure domain of habit formation. Picture a visually stunning, an animated landscape where your choices hold immense power, the magnitude of which is beyond your wildest imagination. But wait, there's more. Have you ever pondered why breaking a bad habit feels like an impossible mission? Or how you can strategically incorporate good habits into your daily life? Well, get ready for a feast for your eyes and mind. Prepare yourself to unlock the science behind habits as we dive deep into the complex neural landscapes of your brain represented by striking graphic animations. Now picture yourself strapped in for a roller coaster ride, represented by vibrant visuals, as we navigate through the cue, routine, reward circuit that shapes your every move. Welcome to Mastering Habits, the science behind breaking bad habit and cultivating good ones. On screen, a mission brief appears. Your goal, if you're up for the challenge, is to understand, control, and master your habits. By the journey's end, a treasure chest appears, signifying you being equipped with the knowledge and tools to not just control your habits, but to master them. Believe me, this is one animated mission you don't want to miss. A future version of yourself appears on screen thanking you. So buckle up your virtual belts and let's dive right in. Our first stop, an animated story that lucidly portrays the power of habits in our everyday life. Stay tuned, agents. This is going to be one enlightening ride with a sprinkle of fun. Picture this. You've just woken up and without even thinking, you reach for your phone to scroll through social media. Sound familiar? This seemingly innocent act, performed almost instinctively, is a perfect example of a habit. You see, habits are these automatic behaviors we perform without much thought. They're like the autopilot mode of our brains, taking over when we're doing routine tasks, like brushing your teeth or making a cup of coffee. Or, yes, reaching for that phone first thing in the morning. Habits can be good or bad, beneficial or harmful, and you'll be surprised to know just how much of our daily actions are ruled by them. A study from Duke University suggests that a staggering 40% of our daily actions are not decisions but habits. It's these automatic behaviors, good or bad, that we call habits. And today we're diving into the science behind them. So, what exactly are habits? Well, in the simplest terms, habits are routines of behavior that are repeated regularly and tend to occur subconsciously. They're like well-worn paths in our minds. Once we embark on them, they're easy to follow without much thought. Let's consider some examples. Have you ever found yourself reaching for the light switch in a room you're familiar with, even when the light's already on? That's a habit. Or perhaps you've noticed that you always put your left shoe on before your right one without really thinking about it. That's a habit too. These are simple, everyday actions that we perform without consciously deciding to do so. Habits aren't always about specific actions, though. They can also be about how we react to certain situations or stimuli. For instance, if you find yourself instinctively reaching for a chocolate bar when you're stressed, that's a habit. If you automatically hit the snooze button on your alarm clock every morning, that's another habit. These responses have become so ingrained in us that they happen almost automatically. But not all habits are created equal. Some are beneficial, like brushing your teeth every morning and night. Others, like reaching for that chocolate bar when you're stressed, can be detrimental to our health or well-being. The key is to understand that habits, good or bad, are powerful forces in our lives. They shape our actions, our days, and ultimately, our lives. The fascinating thing about habits is that they're not just mindless repetitions, they're deeply rooted in our brains, thanks to a process called neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to change and adapt as a result of experience. Every time we perform a habit, our brain strengthens the neural pathway associated with that action, making it easier and more automatic to perform the next time. So habits are more than just routines. They're a part of who we are. They're embedded in our neural pathways, making them a force to reckon with. But don't worry, they're not unchangeable. With understanding and effort, we can harness the power of habits to our advantage. Now that we know what habits are, let's explore how they work in our brains. We all have habits we'd like to break, but how do we do it? Now that's a question we've all asked ourselves at one point or another. The answer lies in understanding the very nature of habits. Let's dive into the concept of triggers. Triggers are cues that kickstart our habits. For instance, the smell of fresh coffee might trigger your habit of reaching for a cup, even if you've sworn off caffeine. Identifying these triggers is like drawing a map to your habits, giving you the power to navigate your responses. But identifying triggers is only the first step. Now comes the fun part, rewiring your brain. You heard that right. Our brains are not set in stone. They're malleable, continuously changing and adapting. This phenomenon is called neuroplasticity. It's like the brain's superpower, giving it the ability to form and reorganize synaptic connections, especially in response to learning or experience. So every time you resist the urge to indulge in a bad habit, you're essentially teaching your brain a new way to respond to old triggers. Think of your brain as a city, with roads representing neural pathways. The roads most traveled are your habits. When you decide to break a bad habit, it's like constructing a new road. At first, it's a rough path, but the more you travel it, the smoother it becomes, until it's your new main road. So we've discussed identifying triggers and rewiring our brains. But what happens when the urge to fall back into old habits is too strong? That's where substitution techniques come into play. The idea is to replace a bad habit with a healthier alternative. Let's say you have a habit of reaching for sugary snacks when stressed. A substitution technique could be reaching for a piece of fruit or going for a quick walk instead. The trick is to choose substitutions that provide a similar reward to the one your bad habit was providing. Think of it as swapping out the villain in your favorite movie with a hero. The story continues, but with a positive twist. Substitution is not about suppressing your desires, but rather redirecting them towards healthier avenues. However, remember that patience is key. It's like planting a seed and waiting for it to grow. You won't see results overnight. There will be days when you'll want to give up, to revert to the old comfortable habits. But every time you resist, every time you choose the new path, you're strengthening your new habit and weakening the old one. Breaking bad habits may be challenging, but it's not impossible. Now let's talk about how to build good habits. Building good habits is just as important as breaking bad ones. You've probably heard this adage before, but have you ever stopped to consider why? The answer lies in the habit loop, the same cycle we discussed earlier. Remember, it consists of three components: cue, routine, and reward. Think about this loop as a circular track. On this track, your brain is like a train, following the same path over and over again. The cue is the starting point, the routine is the journey, and the reward is the final destination. Now, to build a good habit, you need to lay down a new track for your brain train to follow. But where to begin? The answer is simple. Start small. Imagine trying to build a whole railway in one day. Sounds daunting, right? But what if you lay just one piece of track each day? Over time, you would have a complete railway. The same principle applies to habits. Instead of attempting to start an intensive workout regimen overnight, why not begin with a 10-minute walk each day? This way, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed and give up. Starting small allows you to experience success early on, which motivates you to keep going. Remember, the goal is not to make a huge change in one day. It's to make a small change that sticks. Now, let's talk about consistency. Consistency is the glue that holds your habit loop together. Without it, your new track will fall apart, and your brain train will revert to the old path. Consistency is sticking to your 10-minute daily walk, even when it's raining, even when you're busy, even when you just don't feel like it. Think about brushing your teeth. It's not something you do now and then, right? You brush your teeth every day consistently, and because you've done it so consistently, it's become a habit, a part of your daily routine that you don't even have to think about. To make consistency easier, try linking your new habit to an existing one. This is known as habit stacking. For instance, if you want to cultivate a habit of daily meditation, you could link it to your morning coffee routine. So every morning as you sip your coffee, you meditate. This way, the existing habit, drinking coffee, acts as a cue for the new habit, meditating. In summary, building good habits is all about understanding the habit loop, starting small, and being consistent. It's about laying a new track for your brain train, one piece at a time. It's about making small, consistent changes that add up to big results. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your good habits won't be either. It's a process. It takes time. But with each small success, you're one step closer to your goal. Building good habits is a journey, but with patience and consistency, it's a rewarding one. Now that we know how to break bad habits and build good ones, let's look at some tools and strategies that can help us along the way. First up is journaling. Imagine your mind as a bustling city, with thoughts and ideas whizzing by like cars on the highway. Journaling is like constructing a roundabout in the middle of this chaos. It slows down the traffic, allowing you to observe, direct, and even reroute your thoughts more effectively. Journaling your habits helps you keep track of your progress, identify patterns, and stay motivated. It's like having a personal coach who's always there, patiently waiting to guide you. Imagine writing about your habit of snacking late at night. By documenting this habit, you might notice a pattern. Perhaps it always happens when you're up late watching TV. This awareness can be a powerful tool in breaking the habit. Once you identify the trigger, you can find ways to avoid it. Now imagine you're trying to build a new habit, say, reading before bedtime. Journaling can help you track your progress, see how far you've come, and stay motivated to keep going. It's like having a roadmap to your destination, showing you where you are, how far you've come, and how far you still have to go. Next, let's talk about technology. In a world where there's an app for almost everything, why not use one to help build or break habits? These apps can serve as your digital journal, making it easier for you to log and track your habits. They can remind you when it's time to perform a habit, provide motivational quotes to keep you going, and even allow you to share your progress with others. Think of these apps as your personal habit assistant, always there to nudge you in the right direction. For example, an app might remind you at 9 p.m. that it's time to start winding down for your new reading habit. Or it might offer a motivating message when you're tempted to snack late at night. There are countless habit tracking apps available, each with its unique features. Some allow you to set goals and track your progress towards them. Others offer community support, allowing you to connect with others who are working on similar habits. Some even gamify the process, turning habit building into a fun and rewarding game. But remember, while these tools can be incredibly helpful, they're just that, tools. They can't do the work for you. They can provide guidance, motivation, and structure, but at the end of the day, you're the one who has to take action. So whether you're using a pen and paper or the latest habit tracking app, remember that the most important tool is your own determination. Keep your goals in mind, stay consistent, and don't get discouraged when progress is slow. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are habits. In the end, the key to mastering habits lies not in the tools you use, but in the mindset you adopt. Approach your habits with curiosity, patience, and kindness. Be curious about why you do what you do, patient with your progress, and kind to yourself when you stumble. Because mastering habits isn't about perfection, it's about progress. With these tools and strategies, mastering your habits becomes a more manageable task. So, we've learned a lot today about habits. Habits, as we've discussed, are the invisible architecture of our lives, subtly guiding our actions and behaviors. They're formed in the brain through a process involving cues, routines, and rewards. This habit loop, once established, can be incredibly resilient, but not invincible. We've explored how to break bad habits by identifying triggers, the cues that set off our habitual behavior. Recognizing these triggers is the first step toward breaking free from their control. Then, we've delved into the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, to illustrate how we can overcome undesirable habits. By substituting these habits with healthier alternatives, we can start to shift the balance in our favor. But it's not just about breaking bad habits. It's also about creating good ones. We've learned that the habit loop can also be used to our advantage in this process. By understanding how cues, routines, and rewards work together, we can intentionally design positive habits. The key is to start small, with manageable habits that set us up for success. And remember, consistency is the secret ingredient in this recipe for change. We've also talked about tools and strategies that can support us on this journey. Journaling, for instance, can help us track our habits, identify patterns, and stay motivated. And let's not forget about the power of technology. There are numerous habit apps available to remind us of our commitments and track our progress, making the task of habit formation a bit easier and more fun. These insights represent the science behind habits, a fascinating field that continues to evolve. But the most important takeaway is this: you have the ability to shape your habits. Your daily routines and behaviors are not set in stone. With understanding, intention, and consistency, you can transform your habits and consequently, your life. Remember, you have the power to shape your habits and change your life. Before we wrap up, we want to extend an invitation to you. We've shared a wealth of information today, but we understand that the journey of mastering habits is a deeply personal one. We all have unique stories, challenges, and triumphs. That's why we'd love to hear from you. Have you been successful in breaking a bad habit? Have you managed to build a new positive habit? What strategies worked for you? Or perhaps you've encountered obstacles on your journey and you're seeking advice. Whatever your experience, we invite you to share it in the comments below. Your insights could provide invaluable guidance to others who are on their own habit mastery journey. Plus, your stories can inspire us all. Remember, we're in this together. By sharing our experiences, we can learn from each other, support each other, and build a community that champions personal growth and positive change. So, don't be shy. Comment below and let's continue this conversation. Let's learn together, inspire together, and grow together. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Keep mastering your habits, and we'll see you in the next video.